Hello, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining. Welcome to our monthly talks, which is going to be our new monthly webinar format. We're really excited about this new format. We're going to strive to repeat it once a month. Today, we have a few exciting topics, which are going to be the new side menu, groups management, also the learning path, and the AI in terms of content creation. So these are some cool things that we're going to be looking at, and Gabor is going to be talking us through. Gabor, IT Director, is going to talk us through all the topics. Gabor, do you want to do a quick introduction of yourself?
Yes, thank you, Marielle. So many of you may know me already as a short and IT director of the Learning Lab. So I'm responsible for all the development of the software infrastructure and the team. And many times I participate on the UX discussions as well and the technical talks. So it's very nice to have you today here on our webinar.
Yeah, thanks a lot for joining. As you know, design is really pivotal. What we do, we're always all about optimizing the design. So maybe, Gabor, we can start off with you telling us a little bit about this exciting new feature of the side menu.
Right, let me share my screen. But maybe before I share, so indeed, we are in the process of creating a brand new UI for our platform. And for this reason, we have a bigger UX team as well now. So we are really doing a lot of benchmark on how to improve various features. Not limited to the library, for example, which will be very soon renewed with many new features. We are going to have a new dashboard for administrators as well. So we're not only focusing on the application side, but also renewing and adding new features on the administration side. But as we go on for all these new look for the application, the first step is obviously to create a new navigation, because we've seen the limitations of our current navigation. We are constantly adding new features every second week. We are rolling out something, sometimes smaller, sometimes bigger features. Today we speak about quite big improvements. And yeah, so we really wanted to take the navigation to the next level. So let me share with you the new navigation.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So as you can see, the new navigation means we moved from the top navigation to side navigation now. Which means we have much more space for the different elements. Also, we introduced a completely new icon set to more consistency, clarity, and it feels just amazing. This new icon set as well, and as we are going to add more features, you will see sometimes some of these menu items on the left will open, close, collapsible to get even more inside what is inside some of these structures. We kept the same items for now as you are used to when we had the top navigation. However, you can see that some elements are still on the top. We have a new panel for reaching profile and logging out. That's for administrators to easy access the administration area for the current page, language switcher, which is different if you have, like, of course, if you don't have languages, it's not enabled. If you have with platform language, it's looking a bit different. This is, let's say, the most advanced setup when you have different platform languages or content languages. But this is something that we had before. You still have the access to the chat function and to the search page here on the right side. So these are feature shortcuts. Of course, when you hover one element, we always give additional information what it is with this nice tooltip. So as we said, everything moved to the left. Still, we are respecting all the settings. If you want to hide some of these elements, it can be hidden. And at the bottom, we have access to the help and the legal center. So the legal centers as well, for legal reasons, it's more accessible now. For those clients who have branching, the branch switcher is still accessible here. to switch between your different spaces. If you're not familiar with our branching feature, we are happy to please contact us, and we're happy to give you more information about it. It's very exciting. And you can see that the content is, of course, the same, but with this menu also looks more structured, more cleaner. As we go further inside some learning material, I will show you. We also updated the look and feel. I'm just not in the correct one. So as you can see, we also updated the look accordingly when we are inside a class, a course, or a lesson. The header bar is much more simplified now. You can still access the different slides. Here you have the navigation buttons. Let me go maybe to another one, this one. Right. If you have additional features, for example, the PDF download, that's also something that you can enable, which helps to download the current lesson as a PDF format. For example, if someone wants to take it with them for offline usage. And also the right bar has been slightly renewed. We are still, of course, having a lot of ideas how to take it even further, but you see all the attached files, additional information, or the discussion can be accessed using still this right sidebar, which is located now here in the bottom. You might have seen that I closed the menu. It's also possible to keep it closed. By default, it will start open, but for those users who already know what are the different icons are, which are pretty explanatory, they can close it and then keep using the platform in a closed version, which is giving even more space for the content. There are also branding features. For example, you see the rounding of the elements. I'll show you that there is a roundness setting which says solid, semi-rounded, and rounded. So as per default, we are on the semi-rounded, I believe. Let's switch it to solid and see how it looks. So for those clients which brand guideline doesn't really allow too much roundness, or just this version looks better, it's possible to set it to completely solid, semi-rounded, and fully rounded. I'll show you how this one looks, which is giving even more roundness on these elements, which is more a young and more energetic style in terms of look and feel. So these are the basics of the new site navigation. And I don't know if you have any questions.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I saw that there's also some questions from Chloe about the download. I think we'll answer all those questions at the end. Perhaps that's easiest, Gabor, then we'll just move them all to the FAQ at the end, and we'll do a big session. So this will be implemented within a few weeks, I think, Gabor, like 2 or 3 weeks. We're really excited about it. As soon as it's gone through testing, I think it will be ready for deployment.
So, in fact, it's ready on staging. So all of you have a staging version of your platform, so you can already test it out how it looks. If everything goes well, we plan to go live next week. Otherwise, if there is still some fine-tunings, because we are still a little bit fine-tuning it every day, as we see it with different content and different clients' branding. So it might be in 2 weeks. Yeah.
And maybe one note on the philosophy here. So why are we doing this, right? Why are we going for really this UX approach where it's more of the side menu? We really very carefully looked at all the trends and kind of also how people are using e-learning, and it's always on very often on mobile, on iPads, and even when it's on desktop, we realize that with a lot of users, it's just a lot more natural for them to have this on the side menu. It's also, to really avoid that the top menu becomes very crowded. So from a point of view of the vision, it was really, really important that we created this change. Gabor, one last question, I think, for everyone listening in. How can they set up the colors themselves? Can they do that? Do you need to do it for them? Can people play around with this? And what choices do they have?
Right. So the top at the moment, this is the cleanest variant, let's say, which means a white top bar and a light gray sidebar. But of course, on the admin area, if we go under colors, we still have the header color setting with the gradient and the colors. So when this goes live, we are keeping all the client settings when it comes to the top bar. So of course, if we say we select the color, then it will be still used. It should look like this. Okay. Let me revert to that. However, for the navigation menu, you can also change the background color and the text color. So in this case, I can find something different. Let's say light purple background and purple text instead of the gray and black. So in this case, all the settings will apply also for this side menu. So you can choose if you want to keep the top clean and do some branding on the side menu, or the other way around. So really, we are giving this flexibility still to add your brand here.
And this is something that will really be here to help you with the coming weeks. So if you're a little bit doubtful and you want to have a little insight real quick on how can we best use your brand colors in this new menu setting, because it will look, of course, a little bit different, then you can really talk to your project manager, talk to me, and we will figure out how we can help you with the team of designers as well to make sure that you're choosing the right colors, because this is a very quick setting, but you, of course, want to make sure that it's looking good. Okay, great. So I think then we can go on to the next exciting feature, which will be groups management. So do you want to take us through this feature, Gabor? Does that sound good?
Sure. So let's talk a little bit about group management. All right. Coming back here. The group management is mainly an administrative feature. Before, we called all the groups audiences, but we realized it also always needs some level of explanation. What is a audience? We sometimes said, it's actually a group, it's just a different naming. So not so long ago, we rolled out the naming convention change from audiences to groups, which applies now for the whole platform. But this was just, of course, the first step. We also collected many ideas along the way, how audience and group management now could be more useful for administrators, and what are the details that you would like to see when you are managing your groups. We've been thinking about how we could ease the way adding new users or adding new content. So this is how the new groups management section was born. The first screen is quite simple. We see all the groups. Let me probably show this group management right here. So we see all the groups, also how many users there are, which group collection they belong to. This is a new feature. You are able to create group collections, which means sometimes you had audiences, now groups, which belong to the same thematic. For example, you had a few groups, let's say for departments. We can select a nice color for this. Probably you had a few groups per country or region, and so on and so forth. So now you are able to create all these group collections, which after helps you to group your groups. And this will be very useful later for administrative purposes. Let me show you one group. So when we go into one group, we have now more information. We see which users are part of the group, name, email, well, of course, the group name, when they last time logged in, their status, and easy searching inside one group. These kind of filters before we only had on the user screen. Now it's also available with all the same functions when you're looking for someone's only in a dedicated group. And assigning new people into a group before happened using the user profile. So you have to edit a user to add one or more groups. Now we are in the Matter Experts group, and we can easily look for users and add new users in this group. So that's very helpful. What is even more helpful is the content part. So let me probably find a group where we have slightly more content, maybe in all students. Right now. Anyhow, so in Matter Experts, if we look at this button, Assign Content, we can really see all the content that we can find on the platform. Let me check maybe this on here. Right. So it looks quite better. So we see we have the classes. When we open a class, and we see all the courses inside and the modules and so on. So you can really see if one content is at the moment public, if it's already assigned to one or more groups, so you know what to expect when you are adding basically this content also to this group. And there are different informations. You know, if you're adding this group, this is going to be happen. You know, to cover all the different cases and to know really if there might be some problem adding this group or this content into this group and so on, because there are some edge cases. But it really helps because now you don't have to go one by one to each content. We still kept that functionality. So you can go to the content, edit and attach it to a group and so on. But you can do it also from here, which is also kind of a bulk content assignment to groups, which is really, really handy. And the last one is the learning paths, which will be the next topic on our webinar. But yes, you can also see which groups are assigned, so which learning paths are assigned to these specific groups. And this is really just a rollout version 1, how we upgraded this group management, because we are having even more ideas here. And also we will put a lot of statistics on these screens. We already have the UX and the UI for it, and the team is working on showing, displaying more statistics when it comes to groups. So this is the renewed or improved group management feature.
Great, thanks a lot, Gabor. I think it's really good that we get an overview of this new group management feature. I guess one important question is, will this new feature mess up any of people's existing audiences? Should there be anything that they need to be careful about, or will it roll out as normal?
In fact, this groups management is already rolled out. Since a month now, there shouldn't be any change. We don't have change in the logic itself. So there won't be any issues with the new group management.
Okay, I think that's reassuring for everyone. Then we can actually go to the next exciting feature, which is the learning path, which is actually one of my personal favorite features. Do you want to show us around on that one as well, Gabor? I think it's a lot to see there.
Sure thing. So before, we only had the courses section to arrange our content, which we still have, and this is our course library. This is where you can fit in a structured way the content that is available on the platform. However, we've seen the need, and many times we've been asked, okay, but do you have a learning path? Because this courses section is in a way a learning path. However, it can be also improved further. Sometimes we got the question, can I create different learning paths for different people? which is again possible somewhat with the courses section because you have permission management. Sometimes for group A, there are more content, group B, less content, and so on. But still, having a visual path about what needs to be taken would be very beneficial. So we created the learning path feature. Let me show you how it looks for a user first, and then after we can have a quick look on the admin area. So we have a new widget on the dashboard after the learner logs in. We can see how many learning paths has been completed, how many paths are ongoing, because of course one person doesn't necessarily have one learning path assigned. You can have basically unlimited number of learning paths. We'll also discuss about the different kind of assignments after, but you can the learner can really easily see what is the current path, what is the next content to learn inside the path. And when clicking on it, we have a very nice learning path page with description, what this path is about, how many lessons and quizzes are inside, what is the total learning time. You have possibilities to give achievements and points and certificates after completing the learning path separately. Of course, this feature exists on the courses section as well, but here it's also for the learning path. Very easy to add this deadline to the calendar. Not all learning paths have deadlines necessarily. It's an option that you can set up a deadline to complete. And very important, we have two kinds of deadline settings. One is to have a fixed date, and another one is to have a kind of an alternative, a dynamic date, which will be calculated from the time when the person is getting assigned to this learning path. Let's say you can really have an onboarding learning path when you have a new employee, for example, and every time there is someone new, they will always have, let's say, 2 months to complete all the cybersecurity training and all the other courses inside here. So we can really see very nicely visually where we are. This learning path has 7 steps, and we already took the first 2, which are completed, getting started and platform setup. And the next one would be user management essentials, 9 lessons, 30 minutes. If we click on view lessons, we can also see what is the content inside. So we can really have a full overview what we are going to learn right from this screen. And we can go to any lesson. There is a possibility to force going one by one, but you can also decide that it doesn't matter if someone is first doing the 4th segment and then the 2nd segment and so on. In this learning path, actually, we see modules. Let me try to see if we have maybe another learning path, because the power of the learning path is that you don't necessarily always add lessons or modules. You see, you can mix them. And this is really great because you can cherry pick from your existing library any content. It can be a complete course, a complete module, lessons, quizzes, and later on, we are going to enrich this with webinars or manual assessments and different other ideas and activities. But it's really great that you can kind of reuse content. You might have, let's say, a starter lesson or course, and now you can add it to as many learning paths as you want. And then when you go back and change the content on that course, it will be updated, obviously, in all learning paths. So this is very, very handy. And at the end, it's possible, you see, just to say, okay, you completed, very well done. But as we mentioned, it's also possible to add different kind of like certificates or badges and so on. So it's really, really visual and very clear what needs to be done. And for the administrators, where you can find this feature is actually also live now since 1 or 2 months. You can find it under Explore and Learning Paths. So you see on this platform, we have 4 learning paths. I'm not going to create a complete learning path right now. We can have it as another webinar, or we can have a separate call about it. But it consists of 3 steps. The main features or the main details of a learning path, title, images. You can have an introduction video, which was not uploaded there. And it would appear also right here as the first step. So before you go on the first module, we could show even an introduction video, because this is nice, to have a few sentences what the path is. But if someone is explaining what you will learn, it's priceless. So let me probably edit one path. This is the one that we've seen. You see the steps. These were different components. You also see steps which might not be shown at the moment for the users because they are hidden. You can still see them or prepare for them here on the admin area. Very easy to reorder this path by clicking on the manage path. So you can say, I want this other one to be the second from this point on, or I would like to add a new step. As we said, any steps can be added. Let it be, of course, a lesson, a module. So very, very easy to extend the content also in a path, or just to create a new path, a matter of few minutes. We see some path statistics. That's very nice as well. You see who are the people who started this path, not started, what is their progression rate, general training hours, how many active users. So it's a very brief and solid overview on the activity inside the path. Let's see how, of course, you can export the statistics as well in Excel for further analysis. And you can manage the assignment of this path different ways. And this is very interesting because you could assign this to a complete group of people, meaning everyone who is already in this group will get access to this path. But also, if someone is coming later or becoming part of a group, then all these learning paths will be automatically assigned to them. So you don't have to come back and manually assign the paths all the time when there is a new user. You just say, okay, everyone who is a matter expert will have access to these learning paths. However, you can see we can also select users separately, meaning sometimes you would like to create a learning path unique to some of the users based on their knowledge, based on their requirements. In this case, you delete the groups, you just add one or more users. So you can really create a personalized learning path for just a few users. So we believe really this learning path feature is extending how users can access and how they can be streamlined, what is the material they need to learn. And again, this is just the first rollout. It's already very powerful, very featureful, but we have many more ideas for the learning paths, what components to add, what steps to add, what statistics to see, and so on. However, we are also very interested on your feedback as always. So we are very happy to listen to your ideas. So while you use it, if you have more thoughts, just please don't hesitate to share with us.
Yeah, definitely. I think this feature can still go very far, but we're really excited about just, the design aspect of it. Maybe one thing to confirm, Gabor, people can just get started with this, right? They don't need to do any special settings. If they want to put a learning path for one person or for a group, they just set it up and they go, right?
That's correct. It's enabled on everyone's platform. You can find it here on the admin area. As soon as you start assigning to some people, you will see this widget popping up. Maybe just one thing. Let me show that. In order to give access to the users to these learning paths, you need to go to Pages section and go on the dashboard and make sure you add the learning path block widget to it, because that's the one which will define the position on the dashboard. Because you can choose not to show learning paths at all. It doesn't show anyways if someone doesn't have at least one assigned. but you can also set up the position of this widget on the dashboard because it's important. However, there might be some more important news or features to really have control on where to place the learning path block. We are planning to have, actually it's already progressed, a learning path section, generally speaking, similar to courses, which will be accessible from the new side menu. This is coming. For the moment, the access point for users for the path is really this widget that you place on the page.
Okay, perfect. So I think then that's really clear for the user path. So thanks a lot for that, Gabor. Then last but not least, we are going to look at AI, the wonders of AI, and what we can already do in the LMS. More will be coming soon because we're even thinking about things like image generation and really, really cool stuff that will happen in the future in learning. And we think it's going to, of course, have some kind of impact and revolutionize some things. But Gabor, do you want to just show us what we can already do today? Because there's already some implementations active on the LMS.
Yes. We actually have two AI-driven features, which are really the first steps to have more powerful AI features. We have many plans. It's a hot topic, of course, for everyone, how to use AI in learning. So the first steps that we added is to help administrators to create content with AI. So if you go in any and edit any slide inside the slide builder, you will find this AI box. Of course, we have notes on don't put sensitive and confidential information. We have this set up. It's using the OpenAI platform with the ChatGPT 4. Actually, a new version of ChatGPT just rolled out, but it's not something we can use just yet. But as soon as they give us access, we will use always the newest versions. But you could create, let's say, a text and image and ask the AI to what is nano learning, for example. And if you are already using ChatGPT, well, you're used to the technology and what it can do, but it will generate you, in this case, a few sentences about what is nano learning, and you can easily put it in your clipboard or just say add as a text widget. So it will be immediately added to your slide. Of course, you can ask different kind of things to generate the 5 most important points of this and that topic. So really, this is the first step. It's something that you can turn on under settings, private, and AI. You also have some information, what tool we are using. It is set up not to share your data, not to remember the conversation, and not to use for training purposes. But this legal environment is constantly changing, so it's just the best if you want to use it and if you want to enable it for your administrators, is just to be sure about the legal implications of using this, also about copyright, potential copyright issues to use the content generated with AI. But it is definitely available. And we are planning to have different features. This is nice, it can create some paragraphs for you, but we are planning to add the feature to create, for example, quiz questions here automatically based on the content, even further down the road to create a complete lesson or a complete quiz from a course. So we are really planning to create a very useful tool that will speed up content creation. Now, we have one more AI-driven feature, which needs to be enabled on the platform to see, and is not enabled on this platform. Amar, maybe you can help me out if you're here. I'm looking for the audio mode for listening, maybe under behavior here.
Yes, I'm sorry, I was muted.
This
Hello,
one,
everyone. Yeah,
right?
it's lesson, quizzes, and behavior.
Right.
Listening.
Okay. So yeah, right. I got it.
And what
So
is
under
this?
lessons, right? It's a very interesting feature. When you say you enable the lesson listening feature, actually probably I should enable on the new platform to see it in with the new look and feel. Okay, so when it is enabled and you are inside a lesson, and then we can come back to the previous question about the download as well. So this is also an additional feature, the start listening feature. So when you're on the road or just it's more convenient to listen for the content, very simply, it's a text-to-speech feature. So the text content which is on the platform will be read by the LMS. So when you click it, it will automatically read all the paragraphs that you have here, which can be very convenient in many cases. And this is also driven by AI in the sense that how it is learning all the different human voices. And
That's
probably
great.
one word about the download feature, just to come back to it. So basically, this is generating a PDF on the current lesson that you can take and download. At the moment, it is on demand, so you might need to wait a bit or two to get the PDF. However, we just finished the feature which will pre-generate this, so it will be much faster when you click the download button. Poof, we have the PDF, and it's very, very convenient to take the PDF with you. I will try to
And to
find
be clear,
probably.
Gabor, it will never be slide by slide, right? It will always just take the whole lesson. So go download all the slides in the lesson.
Right. We will see if this feature is coming, but at the moment it's indeed the complete lesson that is downloaded. I started the generation now. When it is ready, I will be able to show you.
Okay, perfect. So I think that already answers Chloe Vermont's question about, how does it work with the downloads. Before we open the questions, I guess we can first cover the questions in the chat. So Chloe, I hope that answers your question, but do let us know if there's more questions behind that. Then in terms of the question about the calendar, so there was a question about whether we will soon have the calendar that shows the student issues, the tasks, the webinars, and the deadlines. So this is definitely something that the UX team is working on. This is something we also think is going to be a really exciting rollout in the future. Right now, this is scheduled for early next year. So right now, the forecast, it looks like it's Q1, Q2 of next year. That can still, of course, move depending on the way the features are prioritized. But right now, that's definitely top of mind for us. This year is almost over. We'll be entering December next month, but early next year, we're really going to work on that. I also saw, Barbara, you had a question about the rights. So basically, can you assign people to have visibility for the stats of the learning path? So yes, but it won't, unless, Gabor, you correct me if I'm wrong, the way it will work is that you'll be a manager and you can see, for example, the stats of your team. And so if your team is following learning paths, then you can also see that. There might even be other ways to do it. Gabor, you can complete there, but absolutely you will be able to, for example, say if that is Jim's team, then Jim can see the statistics for his team's learning path.
Right. So we do have a feature called roles and permissions management improvement, let's say, which is ready, which is under extensive testing at the moment because it affects the whole platform. That's will require a complete webinar just to show. It's a very exciting feature. It will come with many new and granular settings, how to create a new sub-administrator, because at the moment we have these global administrators. It's already possible to hide some of the sections. However, yes, in the future, when we are rolling out with this, it will be possible to create an admin who has access only to just a single content or just a group of users. And then this administrator can only see, let's say, statistics for this group or create content for this group and so on. So it will be really, really powerful. And it will include, of course, the management of the learning paths as well.
Yeah, definitely. So in the meantime, we're open for questions. So anyone who wants to ask a question, let us know. I see Tom Wheeler just asked a question about the ability to download videos. So a bit like Spotify, so that students can follow the course when traveling. Okay, so this is really the offline mode on Gabor, I think, that we're talking about. If we're talking about people are traveling and people are watching videos and things like that offline. He's kind of comparing it to, for example, Spotify. I guess Netflix has something similar as well.
Right. We do have now a part of our team who is dedicated for offline usage. We will come with updates on that kind of in January. It is in progress now. And this offline usage will primarily focus at the moment our mobile app, which is a possibility to have your platform as an installed application on the iOS or Android stores. If you need more information on that, please contact us. And this mobile app is going to have this possibility to have offline usage, meaning you select a few courses. It's not necessarily like separately selecting one video or just a PDF or something, but it will download the whole course. And then even if you're traveling, you can learn. And later on, you can even take quizzes. And then when you're online again, it will be synchronized back. So yes, this is on the grill.
Great. Are there other questions? Because we've got a few very good questions there in the chat, but is there anyone else that, would just like to hear anything about a feature they've been thinking about, or any questions we raised with today's session as well? Feel free to let us know. Yeah, I think it looks like we covered everything, Gabor. I think there's no more questions from what I can see. So I hope everyone enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for joining. We'll make this webinar also available as a replay. So if anyone wants to watch it back or share part of it to a colleague or someone in your team, you can go ahead. And of course, we'll really try to keep up with the monthly webinars to really make sure you're all very much updated on the latest features. There's a lot of exciting stuff happening in December. There's a lot of stuff happening in January. So we're really excited to share these things with you. Thanks a lot.